a lot of people these days, they're putting fake news out there and people are feeding off of it. And that's something that we're not about on this show. Hell no. We're about realness, rawness.
A little bit about me, just my name. I'm Ray, and my special guest today is Candy. And we can talk about how we met too, but introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Candice. Everybody knows me as Candy. I think we met at the bar, right?
We met at the bar. I remember exactly how we met.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little to refresh my mind?
It was a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
It was a Saturday around 6 p.m. Summer. I was bartending at Flux. You walked in the door just lively. You're like, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Like, just bringing that energy to the room. And I'm like, oh, this is the energy that I need. You know, I'm like falling asleep over here. So instantly we clicked. You started talking about how you were into acting, an actress, you were an artist. You had some cool tattoos. And I'm like, oh, this girl's dope. She's fit too, like a badass. So, yeah, and then we exchanged Instagram. And that was in 2017, 18, maybe?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. A little bit about me, like you said, I grew up in Santa Ana. That's my city. It'll always be my city. And then after that, I moved actually to Anaheim in my early 20s. And then from there, we moved to Fullerton. And then I just started, getting into acting, motivational speaking. But you know what's crazy? Actually, all before that, when I was around maybe about 15 or 16, I was actually tattooing.
Really?
Yeah, around that age. So, long story short, when I was tattooing around that age, I was lost in my life. I was lost on drugs. I had a lot of hurt. I had a lot of pain. There was just a lot of things that I was going through in my life at that time. But around that age, my passion was art. My first drawing that I did was for Lowrider Art Magazine. And I think I was about 15, 16 at that time. And I was looking through the pages, right? And I saw the magazine Lowrider Art. I got it at the Walmart. And I remember I took it home and it said, if you want your art submitted, draw something up and submit it to us. And we could put it in the magazine. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna submit my art in the magazine, And at that time, one of my influencers, two of my influencers was Kat Von D and actually Big C's at Mi Familia Tattoo Shop in Anaheim. He was a big inspiration in my life because he did more of the Chicano art, the roses. So I drew up that drawing, I've submitted my art, and I think a couple weeks after, they sent me a letter in the mail stating that my art was going to be published in their magazine. And I was actually surprised because art like that doesn't get published like that instantly. It takes a while. So anyways, yeah, my art was published. I still have that magazine till this day.
I need to see it.
Yeah, yes, I'm going to bring it.
I would love to. I was going to ask you, what was it like hearing that news, and what was the drawing?
So the drawing was a girl with long hair. It was drew up in pencil. It was a Chicana girl. She had a big old hat, and right in front of the hat it said Chicana, because that's who I saw myself as. That's who I am, a Chicana from Santa Ana, Orange County. So I drew her up, and she was holding a wine glass with wine in it, just like this, with the hat looking straight, and it just says Chicana. And that's what gave me that inspiration to draw that drawing for the Lowrider Art Magazine.
That's dope. That's really cool. I was so obsessed with drawing women's faces, eyes especially. I feel like I could never get past a certain stage in the drawing though. I could only get it to look a certain way. I couldn't take it to that next step to get it that dimension that was so realistic. But I always admired artists and drawings. It's just so fascinating, This is the image that you see inside your head and you're translating it in real life. I think that's so cool.
Exactly. Art is art. Even if you feel like your art is not good enough, it is good enough because you have a certain story behind it. Drawings have stories. Whatever you feel deep down inside, whatever you're going through at that time, boom, you could put it on paper. You could put it on a canvas. You could put it on a wall. And that's what makes an artist is bringing that creativity out of them and putting it out for the world to see. Ooh, I got chills right now. Woo! All right here. Woo!
What was your first tattoo? You have some cool tats throughout your body. Can't see any right now. But
No, you can't see none.
So what was your first tattoo? How old were you and what was it?
Ooh, my first tattoo was actually the one on my leg. Yes. I was trying to show you right now, but I got pants on. Anyways.
We'll put a picture.
Yeah, we'll put a picture later. So what that tattoo is a representation of who I used to be. It's a dark skull. It's a skull with the tongue sticking out with the tongue piercing. I got it in a garage with some guy that I met. Remember Moco Space?
No.
No? Oh my gosh. If you guys know Moco Space, hit us up in the comments and let me know your experience on Moco Space. So I used to be on Moco Space back in the day, and that's when I met a lot of people that did drugs. I met that guy and he was doing tattoos in his garage. I was like, yeah, do a tattoo on me. So we met up. We did a tattoo in his garage, and I remember, like I said, back in the day, I was in darkness. We were tweaking it, If y'all don't know what tweaking is, we were doing meth. So, and just to let you guys know, this is real stuff. This is raw. This is stuff that I've been through, my life experience. So I don't know who else to be. You know what I mean? This is me. So this is what you're going to get. This is candy. There's nothing scripted. This is all coming from my heart. So like I said, this was years ago. This was when I was 15, 16. I'm 30 now. I'm blessed, to have 13 years of sobriety. And, back to the garage, I remember, tap me up. I remember my leg was up. And when it was crazy because when he was tattooing me, it was dark in there. We were in we didn't have no light like we have light now. We were in darkness. So now that I'm looking back, I'm like, damn, I was really in darkness. And I was even having a person tattoo me in darkness. That's how dark my life was. Wow. Anyways, I remember he just got my leg and he just started tattooing me, and we were on a good one, on a sick one. And after that, I don't know what happened. I think I went home, or I think I maybe went home the next day, or maybe in a week. That's how dark my life was, and that's how addicted I was to, that drug.
Wow.
So that was my first tattoo.
That's a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard your story. We filmed back in 2019. I was doing a little docuseries that didn't take off. There was some legal things, so it never got released. But we did film that episode. I could release it now.
I remember.
Actually.
It was in LA. We went to that hotel.
We filmed it at the Standard Hotel. But I heard your story for the first time, and you talked about how you overcame drug addiction. I always remember this. You talked about that moment that God came into your life when the officer pulled you over and
wow,
stuff. So,
you remember a lot.
Yeah.
He was really listening to me.
I mean, I was editing too, so I was like,
man,
days
Ray,
and weeks.
that is crazy how you could remember all that stuff that I told you.
That was a very touching story. You said that you were about 16, 17.
Yes.
And you almost got locked up because
yes.
you got pulled over.
Correct.
And then the officer just so happened to let you go.
Yes.
With no reasoning. He just said he never wanted to see you in the streets anymore, and then you changed your life, right?
Yes. The way that me and you are looking at each other right now, he was looking deep into my soul. He's like, I don't know why I'm saying this. I don't know why I'm going to do this, but for the amount of drugs that you have on you right now and who you're with, just to let you know that that guy that you met with tonight, we just found out that he's wanted. I met that guy. I think I met him on Moco Space, like I said.
And you were 15, he was
he was like in his 40s or 50s, and
yeah.
they found out because they looked him up. They found out that he was wanted. Oh, wow. And I remember when I met that guy, he told me that he was gonna take me to a motel in Fullerton, and we were gonna do drugs. And the cop told me the amount of drugs that they found on him and on me that I could have done prison time. So the cop looked at me. He's like, Candace, I don't know what's going on, but I know that there's hope and there's a future for you. He's like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'm going to let you go. He looked at my mom. My mom was right there. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but do not let your daughter out of your sight. He said, I don't want to see her back on the street. If I see her back on the street, I'm going to lock her up. And from that night, we went back home. She's like, get in your room. Blah, 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 blah. And all those years from that point on till before, everything that I've been through in my life, mental abuse, sexual, being in foster care, everything that built up in me, it all came out. I had a lot of resentment against my mom, just everything came out that night. And I remember she's like, clean out your closet, show me what you got. I started taking out all these things out of my closet, like just crazy stuff that I would reuse as a person, addicted to crystal. Like I would have like these little knickknacks and baggies, and I had scales, and I had just like these little storages that I would store things in, my torches, my lighters. It was crazy. There's a lot to that story. That's another episode. But we went to the house, I cleaned out my closet, and she's like, you're a drug addict. And I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I knew deep down inside I was. Because in the beginning, when I first started, I thought I had control. Yeah, I'm doing this once a week. Okay, cool. I got control, blah, blah, blah. I was also using it, to bring my weight down and to block out a lot of stuff that I was going through deep down inside. Yeah, I have control. One day out of the week, turn it out to 2 days, then 3 days. Then I started using 4 days out of the week, then 5. Then after that, I started using that drug each and every single day. Yes, and that's what happened. So I went home, cleaned out my closet, and then a couple weeks later, my mom helped me find a recovery home. And that recovery home was Victory Outreach, and that's when I entered the recovery home on October 9th, 2010. And ever since then, my life has changed.
You were saying that you started to find faith in God as well. When you were saying that, I was connecting to you because I grew up in a Catholic school, Catholic church. And one thing about faith is that it's very personal. I always held on to what my grandma said, nobody could interfere with your faith in God. Your relationship with God is your relationship. Mm-hmm. And she taught me how to pray. So I stuck with that for the rest of my life. And I was just lucky, to have her and teach me that. And when you were talking about God, I really connected and felt that, and I think that's very powerful. I think a lot of your motivation and things that's kind of the foundation, right? Is God and faith. Everyone has their own perception of what God is. Like I said, it's very personal. But if you have faith in God, if you have faith in something, a lot of great things can happen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes, they can.
When you were cleaning up, getting your life together, what did you feel was your next step in life?
Wow. So when I got cleaned up, when I was in the recovery home at Victory Outreach in Santa Ana, I went down a whole totally different route. It was the route that God, planned for me. Being in that women's home builded me up. I didn't complain, and I did what I felt like I needed to do at that time as a person, that God wanted me to be. At one point, we had about maybe 30 women in the home. And I think we had about 4 bedrooms with bunk beds, something like that. These older women would come in the home, and God would just use me in a tremendous way. Like, I was only like 17 at that time, and I was taking care of women coming down on heroin. I was taking care of women who were brought in the home from prostitution, human trafficking, drug abuse, sexual abuse, molestation, women that just had no family. I faced all kinds of walks of life. And that's why till this day, people that I meet, people that I come across with, there's no judgments, there's no remarks made.
Yeah.
Know?
Amen.
Woo, man, this is getting hot over here. I could feel the energy, the emotions,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little teary.
Yeah, you're almost making me shed tears. I see how you are in real life, I mean, obviously you're being real right now. You always have been.
That's
and
right.
You're so humble and you're so nice to people, strangers. I've seen that. It's not as common as I wish it was. After that, when you start getting into the adult world, the real world, what did you start off doing?
So when I was in the home, Kenny Solano, he offered me a job to be a marketing manager. And at that time when he offered it to me, I was still in the recovery home trying to find myself. And, I didn't really believe in myself. And I remember he offered me a position. He's like, hey, Candy, they're looking for somebody to be a marketing manager for Liberty Tax. And I feel like you have the personality, you have the drive, you're good with people. He was saying all these good things about me. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I was trying to make excuses. Oh, let me talk to my mom first, blah, 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 da, da, da. He's like, I think you should do it. You're going to be a good asset to the company. So then in the beginning, I kind of shook it off. And then I talked to my mom after. She's like, Mija, you should do it. You're good. You know, God has something good for you. And just go for it. And I remember I went in. I was like, okay. And I didn't really have like, you know, I didn't really have like things to wear and everything, you know. And, you know, wasn't really confident myself. And I remember my mom's like, you could use my blazer and you'll look good. And, you know, just going for the interview. I was like, okay. I went in for the interview and he was just asking me questions. And honestly, we were probably talking for 3 minutes, 2 minutes. He's like, you're hired. I'm like, what? He's like, you're hired. You're going to work for me. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I love your energy. I love how you are. I think you could be a good asset to the company. And I was like, wow. Like, I just felt like ever since I accepted God into my life, like things were just flowing, you know, like every opportunity, every door that was opening for me, it was God building me up, you know, for a time like this. And yeah, I got hired. I was overseeing about 7 offices and about, I think like 40 to 50 plus employees. You know, I used to manage the people doing the signs and wearing the Liberty suits.
I've done that before.
Yeah, that's how I started actually.
Really?
Before I became a marketing manager, I was a sign holder. I was a dancer.
Sign holder for my family's Halloween shops. I'd go out in costume and hold the sign, and I was like 15, 16.
That's how old I was, and that's how I started. So I started as a dancer, as a waiver, when I was in the recovery home of Victory. So that's how I got introduced to Liberty Tax, and I was a manager for about 7 to 8 years. I believe so, or six to 7. And we became number 2 in the nation, my region. So I'm very proud of that. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, you were young too.
Yes, right? I was young.
What was your next journey after that?
After that, I worked at a radio station in Riverside. It was called The Good News with Charles Black. Woo woo! Shout out to Charles Black. So I had my clothing line called Gospel Tellers. I remember too. I used to do Christian rap.
Really?
So yes, I did Christian rap. Oh my gosh. I used to do all kinds of events. I remember I went to New York. I went to Rhode Island during those years. Yeah.
You know, I did a rap. I made a rap song at 14. My cousin was trying to get me in the studio, and I really wanted to do it. I was very shy, very to myself. I didn't have that persona, but I created that persona because the internet just made me be whoever I wanted to be. If I wanted to be a rapper, I could be a rapper. In real life, I was kind of like in the corner.
Wow.
But I remember he got a sample song. He got somebody to get an instrumental for me, and then he got somebody to create like a 6-verse thing, a 30-second thing, and he told me to just practice it. We'll get you in the studio. I never got in the studio, but I just took it into my own hands and recorded it off of my camera, edited the sound, and posted it on a MySpace music page.
Wow.
It was a 30-second song. I don't know where it's at to this day. It's somewhere forever on the internet, but people in middle school started to know me as this rapper.
Okay.
And to me, in my head, I'm like, I'm not, you know, it was so fascinating to create a persona that was something that I wasn't in real life. And they started calling me Ray Z instead of Jay-Z. Ray Z. So that was my little nickname in middle school.
Wow.
And then I started getting into modeling and doing that. And my nickname changed to Model. Whatever you put out there on the internet, you can be whoever you want, you know?
That's right.
I think especially in these times when it's more accessible for recording a song or doing a photo shoot. Back then, you know, we had to get a camera, upload it with the USB, YouTube. A YouTube video took like all day to upload. It was hard to find the format. You know, we were young. We were 15, 14, and everything was still new and up and coming. But yeah, I didn't know you
call you Ray Z now.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We got to do a rap one of these days. I have everything. I have the equipment. I can make an instrumental.
Oh my gosh.
We should both do it. We should both.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Something fun.
As a tattoo artist, what do you feel is the most painful area to get a tattoo?
The most painful tattoo where I've got tatted at was behind my leg. I don't know.
Behind the knee?
Behind the knee. Oh my God. I have a tattoo artist that does all my work, Rooster. Shout out to Rooster. He's been tattooing me up for a while.
He wasn't on. Did you meet him on Moco Space?
No, I did not meet Rooster on Moco Space.
Okay.
I found him on Instagram, actually.
Right.
I have my stomach tatted. I have my back tatted. I have my arms. I have both of my legs. I would say, though, for me, it would be the back of my legs. Yes.
I have one tattoo. Did you know that?
You do?
I do.
So-
Yeah.
oh, so
a lot of people don't know that.
I
but
was
do.
telling my girlfriend yesterday, I'm like, I don't think Ray has a tattoo. I gotta tattoo him and tear up that virgin
I'm scared.
skin.
I'm scared. I love tattoos. I'm just scared. I have one tattoo. I got it on my pelvic bone area, the hip area.
Okay.
I got it when I was 18, and I had a fake ID. I would go to, all the bars and stuff. So I got really drunk, got out of the club. It was past 2. There was a tattoo shop open.
Woo.
Lights flashing. Oh, I want a tattoo, And I just walked in, didn't know what I wanted. Looked through his little book. I'm like, all right, what about my name? I started to see he had names in different languages. Can't go wrong with the name. How am I going to regret my own name? So I got my name in Japanese on my
Oh my God.
and I woke up the next day surprised that I did that. I really liked the scabbing stage for some reason. I don't know if that's weird. I liked the way it itched. I liked it.
That's another
It was very
episode.
satisfying.
Tell me the things that satisfy you guys the most.
That is my only tattoo. That's the only one I've ever had. I'm considering getting tatted in my early 40s or so.
Wow.
Yeah. I just feel like I'll be in a more committed mindset. But I love body modification, though. I love plastic surgery. I think that all kind of is in the same realm. You're modifying something on your body. I've always been into plastic surgery. I've always been fascinated how somebody has a vision in their head.
I know, right?
And then they find an artist, a doctor, to translate it.
That's
just so
crazy.
Yeah.
The human body is so amazing. We could do so many marvelous things.
I don't know if I told you or if you've seen the video that I posted on TikTok, the viral transformation one I did. I got over 300,000 views.
Wow.
Over 1,000 comments. But anyways, a lot of people were coming at me about what I got done. And I had an implant in my face, so I can't go to the gym to create more of a jawline or a structure. I just felt it would improve how I looked. And with improvement, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to be more confident. And that's all that matters. I feel like confidence is the number one thing that makes a person attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do something, tattoo, plastic surgery, it's going to make you more confident, 100% do it.
I agree with you. First of all, when you're putting yourself out there, you are vulnerable. You are telling and showing the world, hey, this is the real me. This is what I did. I'm happy about it. For you to put something out like that, I feel like you're able to help other people. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to build yourself up to that level. Yeah. But you know what, Ray? For you to be that vulnerable, I congratulate you because there are so many fake people out there. They say like, oh, I worked for this. Honey, you did not work for that. But you're being real about it. And that's something that I applaud you and that I congratulate you because a lot of people these days, they can't do that. They can't be real with themselves. They're so fake. They're putting fake news out there and people are feeding off of it. And that's something that we're not about on this show. Hell no. We're about realness, rawness. You know me. That's how we're gonna be. And just for you to do that, that takes freaking guts. You gotta do things in your life that's gonna make you happy because you can't please everybody. If you listen to those people, you're only stopping yourself from greatness. So keep on doing you, boo, and that's it. Have fun with it. Being vulnerable is a beautiful thing. Being vulnerable is a beautiful thing because when you're vulnerable, you're being real and you're being authentic, and people are looking and seeking for that. That's what I like. Period.
True.
Yep.
It's worth it.
It is.
You never know who you're gonna touch.
Exactly.
It can get 300,000 plus views, but if it helps somebody to see a realistic expectation of the same procedures that I went through, that's all that mattered. That's the reason why I posted it. I could have hid it and not talked about it and mentioned it, but I felt that it can help somebody because I myself researched for years, 15 years plus, on this procedure. I'm glad I didn't get it early on because I had a lot of development to go through mentally. And with social media, there's a lot of standards and there's a lot of editing. Totally fine, but as a young person, your mind starts to get distorted in thinking what's real and what's not. You start to compare yourself, and that's the root of like all unhappiness is comparison, I believe. I was in my late 20s when I got the procedure. So I was already in a mental state where I felt confident in myself. I went through this talk with myself and said, can I go the rest of my life not getting this procedure? Yes. Because if I felt like no, then there's going to be another problem. It's going to lead to a domino effect. It's not going to get rid of that feeling. I believe it has to come from within. And once you're satisfied and once you are confident in yourself and you love yourself, then you can enhance yourself. Then you can do those things. Because in plastic surgery and enhancements, you're never going to get rid of those insecure days. They're always going to be there. No matter what you do, no matter how you look, no matter how fit your body is, you're going to have those days. There's nothing in this world that can eliminate that. We're human. We compare ourselves sometimes. But if you have an understanding and knowing that, you know what, I'm having a bad day, let me, work on myself. Let me go work out. Let me read a book or say something nice. Or whatever it is. That's what is important. When it came to being vulnerable and sharing that experience, that really did affect me. And it affected me in a good way. But I had a lot of things to evaluate after that. I started to realize, why am I focusing on negative comments? Why is it bothering me in real life? Because the internet is just this fabricated, not a reality. It's not real. This in real life is real. Those are important.
That's right.
I love your motivational stuff. At times when you have long stories, I'll just put the phone on, put my headphones in, and listen. And I love that. I don't know if you know that, but I do.
No, I didn't, and I'm going to do one today after I'm done with this podcast.
Yeah. Earlier, I was telling you this story, what I just said, and you said it just takes that one person to help, and that's all that matters. And I really feel that is the purpose in anything that I do. We've all been, lonely at some times and felt like we were the only ones. And I would love to help somebody or give somebody that guidance. That, to me, is the ultimate satisfaction.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Where did you start getting your mindset into what it is now? What's your routine? What's your ritual? How do you get in that mindset?
People ask me that all the time, and I'm so happy to share it. Honestly, you have to have God in your life. You have to. Without God, you are lost. Without God, there's no direction. Like it says in the Bible, without vision, you will what? You will perish. Every single day, you need to have a plan. You need to have a vision. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What's the first thing that I'm going to do when I wake up? All right, what are my plans after? You have to write a list out. Make sure that you write that list out a day before. Because if you don't, you're everywhere. You have no goals. You have nothing set. Right when I wake up, I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank you, God, for waking me up. That's a blessing in itself. And I say that because when Mom was in the hospital, on that bed, like it was so traumatizing and so dark. Like, I had this positive mindset where I was like, Mom's gonna be okay. She's gonna be all right. She's gonna come through it. She's gonna get through it. And, maybe there was other mindsets like, oh, she might go through this or this might happen. I'm like, no, you have to, by the end of the day, no matter what you face, you gotta beat the devil in the face. You have to stomp on him, because what he wants to put in you is fear, doubt, stress, depression. And you have to proclaim it like, no, my mom's gonna be okay. She's gonna have good health. Because when you speak, like it says in the Bible, words are either life or words are either death. So whatever words that you're speaking to others, that could either bring them down or that could either raise them up. Same thing with you. Whatever you speak in your life, you're speaking over your soul. You're manifesting it, to happen. That's why when they're speaking, oh my God, this is hard. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. They're already putting in their mind all this fear. So when you put those thoughts and those feelings in your mind, your body's already reacting to it. Your body's trembling, you're shaking. Oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna vomit. Oh gosh, I'm dizzy. It's because you're overthinking. If you wouldn't think like that, if you would have, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I got this. Oh, you know what? It might be a little challenging, but I'm gonna fight through it. I'm gonna get through it. Your body feels what? Pumped, motivated, like you want to devour it, right? That's the mindset that I have every day, because life is never gonna be perfect. Everything that we face, it's how we react to it.
10% of what happens to you, 90% how you react.
Exactly, because out of that reaction, that defines your whole day. You know, you could either react to that person that flipped you off on the freeway and be mad at it. Man, that person flipped me off. I'm so pissed. I didn't get to flip them off. Are you going to be angry the whole day because of that person? Hell no, you're not. If you are, you're going to have a bad day. But if you're going to be like, you know what? God bless you. All right, good. F me. All right, you too. Bye. When you move on like that, you release all that. Going back to the question that you were asking me, starting your day is starting it with a positive mindset. How you start your day is how you're gonna end your day. So when I wake up, I give thanks to God. I put on motivation. I put whatever I feel in my heart that I need to put on to get me pumped for the day, and to remind myself, you're a bad woman. You're a chingona. Like, you got this. Let's go. Get up. You know, no more crying. You know, come on. Whatever I faced yesterday, that was yesterday, because I can't change anything about yesterday. I can't go back to yesterday. Yesterday is already gone. So what only could change from today is my mindset with an attitude. So I listen to motivation. I work out, you know, I work out in the morning, maybe 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning, come home, listen to my motivation. And then, I that's how I start my day. If I have more time to be at home, I'll focus on my art. I'll focus on my craft, you know, my tattooing. I'll start marketing, promoting, just doing things that I need to do to finish the tasks that I didn't do within that week. So every day, have a plan, because without vision, you'll perish. Have a plan.
I love that. My routine is get up, I drink about 36 ounces of water. I measure everything.
He just measured his coffee right now. For real.
Coffee is always measured into a measuring cup. It has to be 8 ounces of 205 milligrams of caffeine. I don't go over the limit of 230 milligrams of caffeine a day. So what I do is I drink the water first. I start by stretching, and then I drink coffee, which is probably about like a 2-hour window from waking up. Get to my computer, get the work going. Then I go to the gym. I start off at the gym, do some yoga, breathing. I do it for about 25 minutes every day, 6 days a week at least. And then I do my cardio, 20 minutes warm up, power walk, maybe a jog. Then I do my weights, and then I do pull-ups and stuff like that. That's usually my routine.
Nice.
And I'm pretty strong. I think a lot of people don't realize that I'm actually a fit person, but I'm not like the shredded person yet. But I'm pretty strong. I think that was a big popular comment on the video that I posted, that you're fat and you're lazy. But you hadn't seen, I don't know, people think that of me.
All because of a short video.
It's hilarious.
Lord Jesus, yeah, you know my life.
I mean, honestly, I would love to challenge people to a fitness test.
Nice. Maybe they could drop in the comments what they want you to see. I don't know, they want you to see doing. Or
I used to do track in school. I used to play basketball. I always wanted to get into gymnastics, but I didn't because I was afraid that I was going to stunt my growth. Because I was the smallest brother out of the 4, and all of them are tall. And I'm the shortest one.
Okay.
And that was always a thing growing up. It's like, oh, I'm going to be taller than you one day, one of my brothers.
Wow.
And he's like, no, you're not. So it was always like this competition. So I would look on the internet to see what can I do to boost my growth. So I avoided alcohol in my early teens. I didn't do gymnastics. I didn't do weights until I was about 14. I felt like that's probably a good age to start lifting weights. But yeah, that was my that's something that the internet platform think of me. They think that I'm fat and lazy.
Wow. I just feel like sometimes you just can't give it that energy. I mean, where are you gonna go? I just feel like we should just learn from each other. Yeah, you know what? Let that person have their opinion. Let them say what they want to say. And that's it, and move on.
I wanted to say thank you again for coming here and agreeing to do this. This is my first episode. You actually inspired me to get this film today. Yesterday, you got a missed call from me. I was like, she's probably tattooing or something.
I was. I saw.
I
I'm
knew
like,
it.
oh,
I
that's
knew
Ray
it.
calling. I'm like, you gotta wait.
I knew it. I was like, all right, I know she'll call back or I'll hear. But I'm glad you didn't answer though, because I was like going through this panic of not finding the battery for my third camera, and I'm thinking we should just postpone it. But then I'm thinking like, if I postpone this, is it ever gonna get done? That's what I thought, and then I was glad you didn't answer, because then I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? I only have one mic right now. Yeah, the other camera isn't working right now, but I still have something to do, to work off of.
Of course.
So when I was telling you this is my situation, you're like, I don't give a fuck.
You know
Let's
me.
just get it going.
Let's go. Let's do this. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I got the time. You got the time. What's gonna stop us? A little battery? I'm like, no. We're gonna do this either way, even if we have to do it from the iPhone. You know. So there's always a way to do something. There's always a way.
And we did it. We're doing it, and I'm excited to just continue to grow. It is hard to be vulnerable, but it's fun to be. It's like that adrenaline rush, you know. It's like, oh, I don't want to do it, but then you get on stage and then you just light up. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You learn a lot from yourself, you know, when you edit. So when you look at yourself, it's, oh, I didn't realize I say a lot, or I say like a lot. And that's how I feel when I get into the.
I say, you know, I gotta stop with that.
I say that a lot too. Those are my like, I should stop saying that, but
we'll learn.
We'll learn. Yeah,
we'll learn and grow from it. That's it.
I think it's gonna be very, very nice for people to see who you are and the side of you, and how, you know, just you, you know. Me too. And I don't think I really have a lot of raw content like this. I mean, what I'm working on now, I'm a digital creator. I do a lot of technical stuff. I do a lot of editing.
Yeah, you can do all that stuff. That's all you.
Sound editing. I'm still learning, you know. I'm still, everything's changing and evolving, but I like the behind the scenes stuff. I like being in front of this camera, but I feel when I'm doing everything at once, it's a challenge, but it's a great challenge, because I'm aware of how I'm sitting and looking.
That's true.
And then I get down to the editing, and I'm like, I can't be so hard on myself, because I sound weird, or I look weird, or my posture's weird. At the end of the day, it's just me only thinking that.
Yeah.
Whoever else thinks it, oh well.
Have fun with it.
It is what it is. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to continuing to grow video content. I have a photo shoot today, but I'm gonna model today. So I haven't done
You're
that in a
always
while.
modeling. Shit. With these little tidy whities. I look at your Instagram post, I'm like, you better put that thing away.
I've definitely gotten more conservative as I've gotten older, which is kind of interesting, right? It's like,
but that's good. I say it in a funny way, because that takes a lot of guts and the courage to be out there in your little,
back
jogger.
then I didn't give a fuck. Now
gosh.
I'm more. It's funny now, because now I feel like I'm more fit, but I'm more of like reserved. Obviously I still like to show my progress with exercising. I don't think I'm like the fittest person, but I like the journey that I've came from.
Do you feel like you're the fittest where you came from before?
Yeah, this is the fittest I've ever been in my life.
That's all you need to know. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, because that's another thing, comparison. You like, I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like, what did you say? Like, I'm not the fittest, right?
Yeah.
See, because when we, I feel like when you say that, I feel like you're comparing yourself to other people that look fit, right? What's fit to you? Abs, muscles, right? Yeah. Like, that's fit. But me, for example, like, I consider myself fit from where I used to be. I used to weigh 220 pounds. We'll put a picture up next time. I don't know when, whatever episode, but I'm gonna put a picture up, and you guys are gonna see how I used to look. The way I used to look before is not the way I used to look now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't meet you like that. I met you how you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You are fit. You were a personal trainer too.
I was a personal trainer at a gym.
Yeah.
Yes, I was, for almost like a year and a half, almost 2 years. I was, and I lost 50 pounds ever since I started my fitness journey. Wow. And this year I'm starting a whole new chapter in my life. Everything for the long term, just like what I was telling you.
It takes work. It definitely, it's that consistency. It's that no excuse that, you can't give yourself. I think that's, fitness, it's all about longevity, honestly. I had a lot of injury in fitness. I don't know if you know that. I broke my left fibula, my lower leg.
That sounds painful.
Broke my ankle, tore the Achilles heel ligament.
Oh, you all messed up, boy.
Tendon. Yeah, and I was, and then I have back injury. I have back injury on my L2 disc and my L5 disc, and then I have one on my neck. But, I was told by doctors,
Yoga?
you can never do, yes, yoga literally saved my life.
Yep.
Because I'm doing things that I could have never done before.
See?
Prior from those injuries. My back didn't hurt anymore. I actually got a recent MRI scan, and the bulge on the discs minimized. I didn't know that was possible. They went down.
Wow.
So that is very important to me. And it used to be back when I was younger, I wanted to be like a bodybuilder type of aesthetic, but bodybuilding is a sport, and that's a whole different thing. I want to feel good. I want to live for me and experience life and be able to move and not be in pain. And I injured myself through heavy weightlifting. So for me, that kind of, maybe I shouldn't, I don't want that to happen again. Let me work on and get into something that I know is going to have longevity and benefit my body, my joints, and when I get older and stuff like that. So I took that route. But yeah, that's a little bit on my journey, but...
Wow. Amen. Yep, you could come out of anything.
What are some last things that you want to tell the people before we finish this episode?
Of course, yes. So everything that I am saying on here is from the heart. It's raw. There's nothing scripted. There's nothing scripted about candy. What you see is what you get. I've been sober for 12 plus years. Everything that I built in my life, I built it with determination, with consistency, being persistent, not listening to anybody, what they think and what they say, because everybody has different opinions by the end of the day. And as long as you believe in yourself, whatever you could think of, whatever you could dream, you could be. But you got to work for it. And everybody says, manifest it. Yeah, you could manifest things, but you got to work for it. I'm just going to end it right there. I'm going to put my Instagram.
What is your Instagrams, socials that we can find you?
My personal Instagram is under Candice Vallarta. My tattoo page is Tattoo Candy, and I also have a TikTok that's under Candice Vallarta.
Thanks again for coming on here. And yeah, this camera just died, but you can find my handles at Ray Martinez, TikTok, Wolfman Wolf. What else?
Oh!
So, yeah, thanks again, and we will see you soon, and we will continue, and have a good day.
Woo! Peace!